Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Nick, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you some of our babies and what they look like versus their moms and what they look like, and just see some comparisons between the two. So let's go ahead, let's get out some geckos and let's compare them. Here we have Betty. Betty's one of our, well, she's a tricolor Harlequin. She's in our Extreme Harlequin breeding project, and so I want to show you some of her babies. She's paired to Mr. Butterworth. Oop. So this is the first baby I'll show you. Look at how fat that baby's belly is.
Oh.
So as you guys can see, that baby looks incredibly close to its mother here. Let's see if I can get him in my hand and Megan can make it focus.
Good.
And also guys, this baby is huge. I don't know if this thing just ate the entire bowl of Pangea last night or what, because this thing is massive. But you can see some really good similarities with, as far as the coloration goes. This one has some really nice portholes that are kind of coming in. There we are. So you can see, and a lot of mom's portholes kind of transitioned into that white lateral siding, which kind of makes her that nice, really nice tricolor. But yeah, so that's one of her babies, and I'm going to pull out another one of her babies to show you. Much smaller version of the gecko that I just showed you. Very similar in color. The portholes just haven't come in as well, but it still is definitely a Betty baby. And, you know, hopefully... Look at that. It's okay, little one. So yeah, this one doesn't have quite as much coloration as the other one did. But it's also important to remember too that this one's it's about 2 months younger at this point in time, so really those colors haven't taken off quite yet. So let's move on to the next mom and the next baby. Here's our next Crested Gecko. Or was. This is Louise. And Louise is also part of our Extreme Harlequin project. This is a very young gecko, only about 2 weeks old at this point. But once again, you can see it takes a lot after its mom, and honestly it's one of her prettier colored babies at the moment. So I'll be excited to see what this little one turns into. Here's another little baby, kind of what it looks like compared to mom here. So pretty interesting, honestly. This one's a really nice Extreme Harlequin. You can see that those patterns are touching all the way up to the top. It's really cool. It kind of looks similar to mom does, so I'll be interested to see how this one grows. So this is Benny. She's another one of our breeders. She's a really nice, she's not a red gecko, but she fires up red, if that makes sense, and it has more of that blush tone to her, which she has under her, she has that blush trait. So the whole process, or the whole thought process of wanting to breed her was to get that blush trait, you know, kind of not prove it out, but see what it looks like on babies and stuff like that. So she did just lay, but she still is about 40-something grams right now, so she's just fine, but she literally laid yesterday for us. So I'm going to put her up, and I'm going to get out some of her babies. Here's the two babies, and this one right here looks identical to Benny does. Looks identical to how Benny was when she was first born. This one looks more like the dad, so I'm thinking that as far as that red blushing trait goes, it was only really passed on to this one over here. So really cool. What?
They look so creepy.
These guys are not very old at all, and I'm going to show you two of her babies that just hatched today. But is the camera picking up the red? Like how this one's a little more red than this one is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one just, in person, this one just looks identical to how Benny does. Alright, so these are two of our geckos that just hatched today, so I'm not going to have them out for too long. But you can see, you know, when these geckos hatch out, it's like they're all fired up and they're ready for the world. So you can kind of see how red this one is. This one not as much, but this one still needs to shed. So it's going to be interesting just to see how many of Benny's babies actually do carry on that blushing trait. And it's weird too, because she was paired to our quad stripe male, and none of the babies have come out with really any pinstriping, you know, like any full pinstriping, and they haven't come out with any of even any, you know, lateral striping on the sides. So kind of interesting to see that potentially with Benny, her genes are more powerful than his. I mean, I don't know if it's that simple or really, but it's just an interesting observation depending on which male or female's breeding, which colors take over the most. Okay, so here's...
Lift her up higher.
Huh?
Lift her up higher.
So here's Pamela, one of our sweetest geckos ever. She's freaking awesome. And I could show you a ton of Pam's babies just because we've held so many back, but I want to show you some of the younger ones, and I think I'm going to go get like 2 of the older ones to show you. Just so you can see the kind of growth in the Dalmatian gene or trait as it kind of grows, and as these guys grow, the more it takes over. So let's put Pamela down. Sit, stay. Good. Stay. So this is one of Pam's babies. Only 2 weeks old at this point, so it is absolutely tiny. But as you can see, no real spots on it, maybe 1 or 2 here or there. But a really spotless gecko at the moment. Honestly, looks very similar to Pam, but it's just interesting. The Dalmatian trait will only it grows as time goes on. So here's another one of her little babies. It's having a little bit of a misfire right now, so it kind of looks crazy. It's only got like 4 spots on it at the moment, which, you know, it's really interesting. All the other geckos that we've held so far have been crackheads. Pam's our best handleable gecko, and her babies have been the best handleable. So who knows? Maybe handability is bred in and bred out. So I'm gonna go get 2 of Pam's bigger babies to show you guys because these guys are crazy. So here's some of Pam's babies. As you can see, I couldn't decide between just a couple of them to bring out, so I brought most of them out. There's still a couple more up there. Pam was paired at her previous home, was paired to a Super Dal male, and she did a really good job at retaining sperm, and we've been the lucky beneficiaries of some Super Dal babies to hatch. So I have a Super Dal that we produced that's unrelated to these guys, so I'm hoping that all of these are female. But here's just some of her just super stellar babies that she's produced. I mean, just awesome, awesome, awesome animals. Really pretty. Some nice ink blots, some other ones that just, you know, this one is a little less patterned. I think that this one's actually might be from one of our males, but this one right here, this is one that we had on either last video or the video before. I asked you guys to name her, and her name is going to be Bounty. I think that's a really cool name. Her and Chocolate Chip in 2 years are going to be paired together, hopefully. So I think that that'll be really cool, or maybe a year. But I mean, Super Dals are going to be a huge, you know, thing that we work with. I think we're going to definitely pair Pam to our unrelated Super Dal, not this year, but next year. So just really cool animals, and just awesome to see how they differ from Mom. They have so many more spots than Mom does, but it's just interesting. You know, a lot of this has to do with the male that she was paired to, of course. But even with our male, we've still had pretty good luck with producing some Super Dals, which is really awesome because he's not really a Super Dal either. But, you know, sometimes you just get lucky and you hit the odds. To wrap up this video, I just want to show off Rufus. Rufus is one of our little runt geckos. He hatched out March of 2020, so he's 18 months old or so. He's doing pretty good as far as size goes, but he was a runt for so long. But I mean, honestly, he's turned into like one of the prettiest flames I've ever seen. Or I don't even really know what he is, because his colors are just so pretty and they're so clean. But he'll be with us forever. He's an awesome little dude. Hatched out way too early, somehow survived and stayed small forever. So.
And he's my baby.
And this is Megan's baby. This is her favorite gecko. So he'll be, once we get the Crested Gecko room done, he'll be getting a big upgrade. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and until next time, stay safe and stay positive.